internationally recognized as a basic principle, opposition condemned it as merely a political ideology. Furthermore, when gender discrimination itself is rampant, opposition gave it the go-ahead because it was a cultural norm. Ladies and gentlemen, apartheid itself was once a cultural norm, and we ended it with international sporting bans. By opposition's logic, they would have gone ahead with apartheid. Proposition was very proud to stand by the fact that discrimination against females should never be a norm, and we were very proud to advocate that. By the end of today's debate, two very different worlds have emerged. There was the misguided and inhumane world of the opposition, as contrasted to the consistent and understanding world of proposition. And I'm going to take you walk through both. So firstly, the world of the opposition, where political ideologies had absolutely no place in the Olympics. From the start, opposition holds that cultural norms should be propagated. They didn't want to ban countries who oppress women because women, as they told us, need to earn their right to participate, while men in those countries did. Double standard, we indeed thought so, and we proved to you why throughout the bench. Inherently, opposition advocated a men's right to compete that we could never compromise on without ever telling us why or applying the same principle to women. Never once did they actually do so. When did they actually talk about women? They only actually talked to us about women in their point on backlash. But in their world, women had absolutely no role model to crowd around. Therefore, they could effortlessly push for as much change as they wanted, but they would never be able to achieve it because they didn't have anyone to concretely back and push them forward. Therefore, there was still oppression, and they could never actually achieve any change whatsoever. And we proved this to you down the line. So despite claiming to empower females, opposition had absolutely no means of doing so, only telling us that a right to culture which oppresses women is more important than a right to equality in sport. Ladies and gentlemen, we did not want to live in that world. So let's escape the much better world which we brought to you to make opposition. So what did we tell you? Let's start with a very simple analogy. When you have an opening ceremony for the Olympics and women walk out side by side with men bearing the national flag, that itself is a very powerful emblem of equality, not just at the international sporting scene itself, but for all the women back home who are fighting for equality, such that when these female athletes return back to their home countries, they have a role model to crowd around, to rally around, and actually push for change which is effective in nature. That was what true empowerment actually was. But why would men, therefore, thus advocate female competitive sport? We told you right from the start that the reason why they did so was because it furthered their own ability to participate in sport. Because they recognized that for male professional athletes, they wanted to compete at the Olympics because it was what they desired the most. And to fulfill that desire, they needed women to compete alongside them. And that was the actual reason why men, in their efforts to improve themselves, would help women as well. And we gave you actual real-world examples of where this happened. We told you Bahrain, Iran, Jordan, all of these places were instances where it continuously worked in empowering women. And opposition never actually took down any of the examples that we gave you in the real world, only claiming an apocalyptic scenario of some hypothetical world that they live in. All these harms never actually occurred. The next thing which we told you was about an inherent moral duty. And side opposition never contested this apart from a political ideology, which we took down anyway. And the last thing which we told you was about female empowerment, about liberalizing the mindsets of female athletes and then taking those mindsets back home so that they could work in their own female communities and rally together around a particular cause and push those causes forward. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have a symbol whom you can rally around, someone who can represent you as the face of your movement, you cannot actually achieve change. That was what opposition actually had. By the end of today's debate, opposition was merely able to prove that our solution wasn't perfect. But the difference was it was a solution nonetheless in the short term and in the long term. And for all those reasons, we were more than